You guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Now, this is regarding Mesut Ozil now from us, because we know that he's coming to an end of his deal, and Arsene Wenger come out the other day regarding Ozil and Sanchez, and he said he is convinced that Ozil and Sanchez will not be sold in the January transfer window. But in that perspective, Arsenal are taking a bit of a financial risk, because obviously they could cash in for Ozil and Sanchez, and in the process, Ozil and Sanchez are nowhere near to securing a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. But reportedly now, it's said in the press, it's in the Metro, and that that Chelsea have reportedly entered the race for Mesut Ozil. But it did come out in the press the other week actually that reportedly reports were stemming from Spain that Barcelona had agreed that Ozil had agreed a contract terms with Barcelona. It reportedly just suggests now that Ozil had agreed to actually join Barcelona as well. And we know Ozil's agent's been in discussions with Barcelona. Reportedly, he's also been demanding a higher wage increase, as well as Mesut Ozil in the current process. And also come out yesterday was Ian Wright, and he suggested how the Man United deal is issuing, and he was convinced that we could get him on a free deal. This is the ex-Arsenal player, Ian Wright. He had the same situation. He says if Ozil was to come to Manchester United, it would be an unbelievable signing. This is what Ian Wright said in the process. But I think Ozil is actually keen on staying in the Premier League, as he's suggested out Mesut Ozil. And Wenger did admit before he could actually leave in January, and it's also suggested out that Barcelona are using Ozil as an alternative, because obviously their main price target is Coutinho. But Messi has demanded out he would rather see Coutinho at Barcelona than Mesut Ozil. In the current process, but he could still leave in January. There are reports stemming that he'd been given permission to leave Arsenal in January, and he did say it could be available for around £20 million or something like that as well. But we know Barcelona and Manchester United have been heavily linked with the player, because Jose Mourinho is keen on reuniting with Mesut Ozil after they were fantastic together at Real Madrid. They had 3 fantastic years at Real Madrid. We know he's also got experience of being in Germany. He was in the Bundesliga for 5 years. He's now in the Premier League. This is his 5th season now in the process in the Premier League. He's made over century appearances. He's also got a record of assists. Very good playmaker. Also very good at creating chances as well as Mesut Ozil in the current process, and it has confirmed basically his representatives Ozil's have demanded a higher wage increase as well of over £300,000, and I think Barcelona are actually prepared to pay this for Mesut Ozil. But as I said, we know the contract talks have currently stalled, so in the process Arsenal nowhere near to securing Mesut Ozil a new deal. But it's Ozil's coming to an end of his deal, Sanchez is coming to an end of his deal, and Jack Wilshere is coming to end of his deal. So Arsenal, in my opinion, I'd say Arsenal should cash in for them 3 players. If they are to leave Arsenal, looking likely none of them are in the process of securing a new deal. But Arsenal would rather cash in rather than let them all go on a 3 transfer next summer. That's Wilshere, Ozil, and Alexis Sanchez as well. But obviously Arsenal are identifying replacements as well. But it's actually it's come out in the press and actually suggested out that reportedly Chelsea have entered the race for Mesut Ozil as well, because obviously Conte, wasn't satisfied with their lack of investment in the August window. Even though Chelsea did get Bakayoko, Chelsea got Rudiger, and Chelsea paid £70 million for Alvaro Morata. And I think Conte does want a strong partnership with Alvaro Morata, and he thinks he's lacking, in that area, up front. He wants someone to partner up with Morata, and still, Conte is still in search for a midfielder at Chelsea. He's still looking to reinvest and strengthen up that midfield position. And we know Chelsea missed out on quite a few, targets back in August. They missed out on, Sandro. They were interested in Vardy. They missed out on Llorente. Missed out on Romelu Lukaku because he come to Manchester United. Instead did Romelu Lukaku. They missed out on quite a few players. Did Chelsea Football Club back in August. But as I'm saying, Chelsea did spend like over £100 million or something like that. But reportedly, they have showed an interest now in Mesut Ozil. But as I said, he's keen on staying in the Premier League, Ozil, as he suggested now. But Chelsea, could still have the interest in Ross Barkley, in the January window as well, because Chelsea were linked to him during August. It looked as though on deadline day Chelsea were going to get the pursuit of Ross Barkley, because Everton were in talks of trying to secure a new deal. Ross Barkley had turned this down, and he's injured. I think he's now injured till January. Is Ross Barkley? as well in the current process. Made his international senior debut in 2013 as well. And he's been at Goodison Park and Everton since he was 11 years old as Ross Barkley. He's using the ranks well. He's been up there a century of appearances. I think he's been at Everton now for over a decade as Ross Barkley. He did very, very well for Everton last season, but he did say he had a medical, with Chelsea, but he pulled out of the move, did Ross Barkley as well, and he's been at Everton majority of his career. He did go with Leeds United on loan. He went with Sheffield Wednesday on loan as well. So basically, it's saying Chelsea could still have either interested in Ross Barkley as well because he is a midfielder, and Chelsea's still looking to reinvest that midfield. They want someone to partner up with Alvaro Morata as well, and they've looked at quite a few forwards to strengthen that front line. But also now they've stepped up their interest in Mesut Ozil as well of Chelsea. Football Club. We know also with Chelsea as well, they've got a lifeline, with the Aubameyang situation. Chelsea basically could end up with Aubameyang, because he can play on the flank. He can also play up front as well. And that would, definitely improve Chelsea, because, with Morata and Aubameyang up front, I think, they complement each other in the Chelsea squad. You could also put Eden Hazard there as well, so Chelsea could go with a 4-3-3, They could go with a 3 up front with Hazard, Morata and Aubameyang, if Aubameyang is actually to join Chelsea. But we know, reportedly, he's had a fall. Borussia Dortmund are losing patience with Patrick Emerick, Aubameyang, and we know Aubameyang's got a good record. His speed, he's got tremendous speed. His speed's absolutely phenomenal because he did 30 metres, did Aubameyang in 3.7 seconds, and that is a record. Made his international senior debut in 2009. Also, what wasn't long back, he was voted like the 8th best player in the world. Was Patrick Emerick Aubameyang as well, and he's been top scorer for the last 3 seasons now as Patrick Emerick Aubameyang, good at providing assists also. He's been, voted, he's been named he's won the African Football of the Year. He's also been voted best African player as well as a player. He's won quite a few honours, since he's been at Borussia Dortmund, and this is his 5th season in process for Borussia Dortmund. He did sign a 5-year contract with Aubameyang, back in 2013. With Borussia Dortmund as well, so I think he's coming to an end of his deal soon. But he's clinical, he's good, he's strong, he's quick, good at leading the lines, fantastic genuine pace, and he's just very, very clinical, and he would dramatically improve Chelsea as well. But also we know that he's had experience of being in France a lot because he started his career with Inter Milan, didn't he, Aubameyang? Then he went to 4 French clubs on loan. Then he went to Setien permanently in 2011. He did pretty well with Setien. As well, and then after Setien spent a couple of years there and then signed for Borussia Dortmund, did the player. But it's also suggested out that Liverpool are also keen on Patrick Emerick Aubameyang as well, because Klopp, may be keen on reuniting with Aubameyang, after Klopp, used to work with Aubameyang at Borussia Dortmund, obviously, before Klopp went to Liverpool Football Club as well. I think this is maybe, only if Daniel Sturridge is to lead that Liverpool will make a move for Patrick Emerick Aubameyang as well. But I think, Chelsea could maybe end up getting the player because I think Borussia Dortmund have made it clear that they are willing to offload Aubameyang for around £54 million as well, and that's been in the press for the last couple of days as well. So as I was saying, because Liverpool definitely still need to improve up front as well, and definitely in defensive terms, they definitely need someone at the back as well to Liverpool. But saying about. As I was saying about Ozil, yes, these reports are stemming from Germany that Chelsea, have reportedly entered the race as well. Because basically, I think Conte has made it clear he's worried about City's spending power and he's concentrating on catching us at the moment, is Conte, as he has explained in the press. He's not too concentrated on City at the moment. He said he's concentrating on catching us in the current process, but Chelsea still looking to reinvest their midfield, still looking to add depth and character in their made. Conte wants someone up front to partner Alvaro Morata as well, in the current process. And as I said, Ozil could look likely that he's going to be going. You've also And you've also at Arsenal Football Club, you've got Alexis Sanchez that's also coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club. He's another player, that's refused. He's another player that's refused to sign a new deal with Arsenal Football Club as well. He's reportedly, being demanding a higher wage increase as well as Alexis Sanchez. This is his 4th season in process with Arsenal. He's made over a century of appearances now. Scored quite a lot of goals, to be fair, as Alexis Sanchez, in current processes. But a lot of teams have been interested. It's also Paris Saint-Germain have been interested. You know, PSG have approached Sanchez's representatives as well, and had talks. And saying about Sanchez that, you know, there's been a lot of teams interested. He did quote out he wanted Champions League football. Did Alexis Sanchez? He did quote out that he wanted Champions League football, did Alexis Sanchez, and it's first time in 2 decades Arsenal have not had this. But as I said, Wenger has said regarding Sanchez as well as Ozil, he said Sanchez also will not be sold in the January transfer window as well. But there's teams out there such as Paris Saint-Germain and that, or maybe even Real Madrid, because they've reportedly been interested in him as well, that will actually pay for him in January, rather wait until he's a free transfer next summer. But I think City are prepared to wait until Sanchez becomes a free transfer next summer, and then I think City, you know, are actually, you know, then interested, you know, City are willing to wait until a free. They may be keen on waiting until a free next summer rather than pay 20-30 million pound for Sanchez, you know, in January as well. But he's been linked with, you know, a lot of teams. You know, he's got experience of, you know, being in Spain with Barcelona. Were very, very good, you know, with Barcelona. He scored 21 goals in his last season there. Did very, very well. Won honours there, you know, did well. He's also had experience of being in Italy with Udinese, you know, with a plate. Was with Colo as well. He's now Premier League proven. He's done fantastic, you know, since he's been at Arsenal Football Club. You know, he's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons. And I still think he's keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola. Is Alexis Sanchez, you know, to be quite fair. I think they're still keen on reuniting together after they worked fantastic together. Considering, though, even City have spent a lot of money, you know, especially, you know, they're still looking to, you know, get quite a few players into their team. Manchester City, because City are a rich club, just like we're a rich club, Barca a rich club, Real Madrid are a rich club as well. But City have got a fantastic team, but they're still looking to reinvest. You know, they're in search of a fullback. You know, they're still heavily linked with Alexis Sanchez as well. But for me, I do think Sanchez, in my personal opinion, I do think Sanchez will end up going to Manchester City, whether it be in January or whether it be on a free next summer. But as I said, you know, City may be prepared to wait until next summer when he comes a free transfer. And it's looking likely Sanchez is not going to sign a new deal, as we all currently know. And he made his international debut as well in 2006, did Alexis Sanchez, but he's a very, very good number 7. The effort he puts into his game is just absolutely fantastic as well. But also, you know, saying Arsenal are obviously, you know, identifying replacements. And today in the press, as I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, Nabil Fekir from Lyon has been mentioned again as well. And it's reportedly saying about this Nabil Fekir from Lyon that reportedly he's edging closer to joining Arsenal Football Club, reportedly. So reportedly he's edging closer to joining Arsenal Football Club, because the other week it confirmed that there were talks between Arsenal and that Arsenal were in talks of securing a £60 million deal for Nabil Fekir as well. Dad. Dad. What you doing? Have you? What? What? No. Sorry about that. So I'm saying about Nabil Fekir, reportedly Arsenal have reportedly been in talks over getting the pursuit of Nabil Fekir, and it did say Arsenal are willing to play a club record fee of £60 million for the player, and I think Arsenal are identifying Nabil Fekir as a good replacement for Alexis Sanchez. It's not been made clear yet whether Arsenal are going to go for him in January or whether they're going to go for him next summer. But what Arsene Wenger said, Sanchez will not be sold, Ozil will not be sold, so it may be not until next summer that Arsenal, actually, go for Nabil Fekir, but Nabil Fekir's under contract with Lyon until 2020 as well. I'm not sure if he's actually keen on the move, but he may be keen on reuniting with Lacazette, because obviously that was one of Arsenal's summer signings. They paid £52 million, a club record fee, and he's done very, very well, to be fair to him, since he's been at Arsenal Football Club as well. But Nabil Fekir is doing very, very well this season. I think he's got 14 goals for Lyon. He got promoted into the senior team in 2013 as well, didn't he? Benfica. He made his international debut in 2015. And don't forget, in his second season in the senior team with Lyon, Nabil Fekir had become more of a regular, in his second season with Lyon as well in the current process. So, he's under contract 2020, and Arsenal identifying him as a good replacement for Sanchez, and he's also been in, before he was also in the Lyon reserve team, and in 2015-16 he'd missed, majority of the season, that season, due to injury as well, Nabil Fekir, but he can play as a midfielder, he can also play in the front line as well, so Arsenal have also identified him as a potential replacement for Sanchez, and that's what has been mentioned as well, and you've also got Lemar. He did say Arsenal, are going to potentially, re-show their interest in Thomas Lemar as well, the Monaco player. I think he's still under contract on Monaco until 2019-2020 as well, but he can play through the centre, he can play on each flank as well, can Thomas Lemar. And he did say, Arsenal are actually going to re-show their interest in the player. He did say Arsenal are not willing to pay up to the £90 million that they offered, right at the end of the window. But he says Arsenal are going to reach other interests because Lemar's represented from the under-17 to the under-21s for France. And he's been fantastic for France. He's making his international senior debut, in 2016 as well for France, Thomas Lemar. And he has become a regular for the French side as well as Thomas Lemar. But we know there had been talks back in August. Arsenal tried getting a deal offline. Arsenal had 2 bids rejected. Liverpool had 2 bids rejected for Thomas Lemar as well. It has confirmed Liverpool, are still interested in Lemar as well. And the Monaco president has confirmed he's likely to leave Monaco next summer. Monaco sitting third at the moment in the Liga 1 now. Lyon are sitting second in the Liga 1. And so Monaco were reluctant and were hesitant to offload Lemar back in August due to the amount of money they had received, for the departure of their players. I think Falcao's, Monaco's top scorer this season. But as I said, he used to play for Chan, did Lemar, where he played 32 times for Chan as well. But that was Arsenal's main price target back in August. But Arsenal didn't get a deal over the line because Monaco were not willing to offload the player as well, but Liverpool also were interested in him as well. And then you've got another potential Arsenal target is we know Julian Draxler. It's also confirmed that Liverpool have been in contact with Paris Saint-Germain. Also Arsenal's long-term target is Julian Draxler as well, because I think, as I said, PSG basically, have to sell, in my opinion, basically, before they can buy. PSG basically, have to sell, Julian Draxler, very, very good in the Confederations Cup, very, very good he's very, very good for Germany in general, very, very good in the FIFA World Cup in 2014 as well, they won it in 2014, very good in Euro 2016 as well, Draxler, and, he's served his 2 requirements to Paris Saint-Germain, because he isn't going to be guaranteed first team football week in, week out. He's Julian Draxler as well in the current process, due to that amount of money PSG invested. They could still offload quite a few players as well, to buy more players in Paris Saint-Germain. But as I said, Draxler served 2 requirements, considering the amount of money they spent. Very, very good during his Schalke days, made 171 pages, scored 30 goals, made his debut with just the age of 17 years of age, Julian Draxler as well, went to Wolfsburg, and PSG have only had him since January, don't forget as well, and he's good, strong, his shot accuracy is very, very good, his passing ability is good, his dribbling is good, a bit comparable to Lemar. Lemar's passing ability is good, his dribbling is good as well as Lemar's, but also too is Julian Draxler's as well. But Liverpool have also been interested in him as well. But what I'm going to say, let me think. Anything else to update you with today? Let's have a think. So no guys, that's really about it for today. So main part of this video, that report, Chelsea have now showed their interest in Mesut Ozil. So where could Mesut Ozil land? Where could Mesut Ozil end up? We just do not know. Is it going to be United, Chelsea or Barcelona? But United and Barcelona are the ones that have been heavily linked with Mesut Ozil. But it did say in the press yesterday that Jose Mourinho he's asking for £200 million in the transfer window. Mourinho spent 300 million now in 3 transfer windows. This is his second season now in the process with Man United. But he's still looking to address, because he's basically, Mourinho's looking to address that left hand side, because I still think we need depth and character there. We need to address that left hand side more. And he did say Jose Mourinho has targeted 4 left-footed players. This is including Bale, Griezmann, Ozil, and Daniel Rose as well. And as I updated you earlier on, guys, I give a bit of bad news that Nemanja Matic has suffered an injury as well, which is disappointing, as it has confirmed Jose Mourinho is not sure how long Nemanja Matic is going to be out for, but he did say he suffered an injury. It is a muscular problem that Nemanja Matic has suffered. Matic, who's played in all 14 games in the Premier League this season, hasn't scored yet, but it would be a big miss, so he could miss the Arsenal game at the weekend, which is disappointing. It's also said about Fellaini, he's picked up an injury, and he's only just recently recovered from injury, as a Fellaini. I think he had a knee injury, before as well, so that could be 2 key players that, we've had Bailey out and Jones out. And, the good news is, though, we've got Pogba back, we've got Rojo, who's come back from long-term injury, we've got Ibrahimovic that's come back, from long-term injury as well. But we'll know more things, with this update, about the Nemanja Matic situation. So hopefully it won't be too severe, I hope not. And, you've got one Lukaku now, I think, he's got 8 or 9 goals in the Premier League so far for us this season, before the Newcastle game, he did go 7, games without a goal. But when he hasn't scored, Lukaku, he has still had his chances, in them games he hadn't scored. And, in the Watford game, last night, Lukaku played fantastic. He did get an assist, but really, the chances that he did have, he had some glorious chances. He should have put one away, Lukaku. So he should have put one away, but it would be good to see Lukaku score at the weekend, at the Emirates. It would be very, very good to see. And people said, Lukaku's rubbish against the big teams. He can't score against the big teams. He's a big game bottler. He's still a very, very good player for me, even though he went a long drought, he went quite a while, without scoring a goal. But I think he'll get back to that form as he was like, earlier on in the season. And as I said, Ashley Young were phenomenal yesterday. 2 fantastic goals from Young. Lingard, getting in a goal and assist as well was fantastic to see. And it was we got Martial scoring his 8th goal this season as well, which was fantastic to see. And actually, yesterday, just forgot to actually say, Lukaku, that was Lukaku's 200th Premier League appearance, all in all, that he made yesterday against Watford as well. That was Lukaku's 200th Premier League appearance as well. He's not far from hitting a century of goals now in the Premier League. He's Romelu Lukaku, in the current process. But anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe to my channel as always. God bless. Take care, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.